Welcome, my esteemed friends. Please allow me a moment to invite you to take a deep breath with me. Deeply in and slowly out. With just that simple act, you have done something marvelous. A supreme choice. You have chosen to be present. At this age, we all know one truth. Life is a long journey filled with many peaks and valleys. We've built careers, raised families, we've fought our personal battles. And now, as we step into this third chapter of life, we recognize a new kind of burden. It's no longer just work or children, it's a form of nameless anxiety, a mental heaviness that persistently clings to us. I want to ask you sincerely, based on the experience of hundreds of senior practitioners I've worked with, have you ever woken up at 3 a.m. when everything is quiet, yet your mind is screaming like a storm? These are worries about health, about retirement finances, about grandchildren, or simply the regret of what has passed. Words left unsaid. We often call this anxiety or stress, but I, through the deep insight of meditation, call it the chronic fatigue of the soul, chronic soul fatigue. And here is the most crucial thing I want you to understand from the outset. This storm in your mind is not just an emotional or philosophical issue. It is actively destroying your body at a biological level right now. Stress is not just emotional. It is the biology of survival. In the ancient Buddhist tradition, we speak of clinging, upadana, the tenacious attachment to thoughts, old stories, and fears that do not exist in the present moment. We try to hold on to the past or desperately try to control the future. But by doing this, we unconsciously activate a primitive survival mechanism in our body. I want you to imagine your mind as a primal alarm system. When you worry, your mind thinks a tiger is about to pounce, or you are facing mortal danger. Instantly, your adrenal glands, those two small glands above your kidneys, release a massive amount of a powerful hormone, cortisol. Cortisol is the fight-or-flight hormone. It's excellent when you need to escape actual danger. But the tragic problem for the modern person, especially at our age, is that this alarm is always switched on with no off button. We are no longer running from a tiger, but we are running from thoughts about unpaid bills or a mistake made 30 years ago. And the body doesn't differentiate. Cortisol is still being pumped out, constricting blood vessels, tightening muscles, and straining your nervous system. Expert insight: why chronic stress is destructive in later life. For those of you over 60, this is particularly dangerous and must be addressed. As we age, our bodies lose their ability to process, break down, and eliminate cortisol as efficiently as they did when we were younger. Sustained high levels of cortisol, what we call chronic stress, will silently ravage our entire system. Firstly, it attacks your memory and clarity. Neuroscientists at leading research institutions globally, like Harvard University, have pointed to a direct link. High sustained cortisol damages the hippocampus, the brain's center for memory and learning. This is why sometimes you feel brain fog, struggle to concentrate on a book, or suddenly forget an old friend's name. This is not just typical aging. This is the direct, measurable impact of uncontrolled stress. Secondly, it fuels systemic inflammation and high blood pressure. Cortisol constantly pushes your body into maximum alertness, raising your heart rate and blood pressure unnecessarily. This is the smoldering fuel for chronic inflammation, the root cause of most serious illnesses and the decline in quality of life in later years. Heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and the worsening of joint issues. Anxiety is not just a problem in your head. It is a physical weight resting heavily on your heart. I have witnessed cases where practitioners successfully reduced their anxiety through meditation, and their blood pressure clearly dropped, sometimes even surpassing the results achieved by medication alone. The rescue from ancient wisdom, activating the self-healing system. So how do we pull the plug on this cortisol alarm system? How do we protect our brain, our heart, and our health from the grip of anxiety? We do not need to seek solutions in complex or distant places. We have a powerful tool that is free and always available right under our nose: the breath. Thousands of years ago, the Buddha gave us the technique of breath meditation, Anapanasati. Modern science has unequivocally proven this technique is the most direct and effective way to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. It is the perfect, natural counterpoint to cortisol. By bringing conscious attention to the breath, especially by extending the exhale, you are sending a clear, calming biological signal directly to your brain, danger has passed. I am safe. You are manually turning off the cortisol spigot, initiating the healing process. In the next section, I will guide you through a deeply simple breath meditation, an ancient tool scientifically proven to calm the mind, protect the body, and allow you to truly let go of the unnecessary burdens of your later years. Please prepare. Allow yourself to be peaceful, even if only for a few minutes. Let us begin this journey now. Welcome, my esteemed friends. Please allow me a moment to invite you to take a deep breath with me, deeply in and slowly out. With just that simple act, you have chosen to be present. At this age, we all know one truth. Life is a long journey with many turns. We've built careers, raised families, and now as we step into this third chapter of life, we recognize a new kind of burden. It's not work or children anymore. It's a form of anxiety, a mental heaviness that persistently clings to us. I want to ask you sincerely, have you ever woken up at 3 a.m. when everything is quiet, but your mind is screaming like a storm? These are worries about health, about retirement finances, about grandchildren, or simply the regret of what is past. We call it anxiety, but I, through my years of working with practitioners here, call it soul fatigue. And here's the crucial thing I want you to understand. This storm in your mind is not just an emotional issue. It is literally destroying your body at a biological level right now. Stress is not just emotional, it is biological. In the Buddhist tradition, we speak of clinging, upadana, the tenacious attachment to thoughts, old stories, and fears. We try to grasp the past or desperately control the future. But by doing this, we unconsciously activate a primitive survival mechanism in our body. I want you to imagine your mind as an alarm system. When you worry, your mind thinks a tiger is chasing you. Immediately, your adrenal glands release a powerful hormone, cortisol. Cortisol is the fight or flight hormone. It's excellent when you need to escape real danger. But the problem for modern Americans, especially at our age, is that this alarm is always switched on. We are no longer running from a tiger, but we are running from thoughts about unpaid bills or a mistake made 30 years ago. And the body doesn't differentiate. Cortisol is still being pumped out. Expert insight: why cortisol is dangerous for the 60 plus. For those of you over 60, this is particularly critical. As we age, our bodies lose their efficiency in processing cortisol. Sustained high levels of cortisol, what we call chronic stress, silently ravage our system. First, it attacks your memory. Neuroscientists at top institutions like Harvard University have shown that high cortisol damages the hippocampus, the brain's memory center. This is why sometimes you feel brain fog, have trouble focusing, or suddenly forget the word you meant to say. This is not just aging, this is the direct impact of uncontrolled stress. Second, it fuels inflammation and high blood pressure. Cortisol constantly pushes your body into high alert, raising your heart rate and blood pressure. This is the fuel for chronic inflammation, the root of most serious illnesses in later life: heart disease, diabetes, and joint issues. Anxiety is not just in your head, it is a burden on your heart. I have seen cases where practitioners successfully reduced their anxiety and their blood pressure clearly dropped, sometimes more effectively than medication alone. The ancient rescue, activating the self-healing system. So how do we pull the plug on this cortisol alarm system? How do we protect our brain and our heart from the grip of anxiety? We don't need complicated drugs. We have a powerful, free, and always available tool: the breath. Thousands of years ago, the Buddha gave us the technique of breath meditation, Anapanasati. Modern science has confirmed this technique is the most direct and effective way to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest system. It is the natural antidote to cortisol. By bringing conscious attention to the breath, especially by extending the exhale, you are sending a direct biological signal to your brain. I am safe. Everything is okay. You are manually turning off the cortisol spigot. In the next 15 minutes, I will guide you through a deeply simple breath meditation, an ancient tool scientifically proven to calm the mind, protect the body, and allow you to truly let go of the unnecessary burdens of your senior years. Please prepare. Allow yourself this peace. Let's begin now. Now please take a comfortable seat. I want you to completely relax your shoulders and back. Let your spine be naturally straight. Both feet should be flat on the floor, Feel that sense of grounding and connection to the earth. Place your hands gently on your lap. Let go of everything for a moment. Imagine you are placing all those worries into a box and closing the lid. Just for these next 12 minutes, gently close your eyes, or if that is uncomfortable, let your gaze rest softly on a spot on the floor. Feel your body resting. Notice any remaining tension, perhaps in your jaw, your forehead, or your shoulders. Allow those areas to soften, to melt. Now bring your attention to your breath. The breath coming in, the breath going out. This is the simplest yet the most profound thing you can do. You don't need to change the breath, just observe it like a friendly companion. The breath comes in. Feel the cool sensation as the air touches your nostrils. The breath goes out. Feel the gentle warmth as the air departs. Anchor your attention to the easiest spot to feel your breath. Perhaps it's the gentle rise and fall of your abdomen, or the slight lift and descent of your chest. This is your anchor. This is your home. As you breathe in, whisper mentally, in. As you breathe out, whisper mentally, out. This mental naming helps the mind focus and drift away from anxious stories. And then distraction will come. A thought about a to-do list, an old memory, a noise outside. This is completely natural. Do not get angry at your mind. Do not judge it. When the thought appears, simply recognize it, and gently let it go. Like a leaf floating on a river, let the thought drift by. Then, with utmost gentleness and patience, bring your attention back to your safe anchor, the breath. Now, let's apply the most scientific technique of breath meditation. Nervous system balancing breath. I want you to intentionally slow down your breath. Inhale slowly. Count mentally to 4-4. And exhale slowly. Count mentally to 6-6. Inhale slowly, taking in life. And exhale slowly, releasing tension. When you extend the exhale longer than the inhale, you are directly stimulating the vagus nerve, sending a powerful signal to the brain. I am safe. You are manually adjusting your cortisol thermostat. Continue this rhythm of peace. 4 in, 6 out. Feel the relaxation spreading from your chest to your fingers and toes. Hold this peaceful state for a little longer. Slowly begin to feel the weight of your body on the chair again. Feel the air around your skin. Offer a gentle, grateful smile to yourself for taking this time to care for your soul and your body. When you are ready, slowly, gently open your eyes. Slowly, slowly. Now gently bring your awareness back to the room. Take one more deep, slow breath in and release it completely. I sincerely hope that during that time you felt a subtle shift, a moment of mental space, a gentle softening, a small piece of peace that perhaps felt long lost. I want you to ask yourself a very honest question. Did all your worries completely disappear? Probably not. And I want you to understand that this is perfectly normal. Meditation is not a magic pill. Meditation is the practice of building a spiritual muscle, the muscle of attention, the muscle of patience, and the muscle of self-compassion. And you have just given yourself a deeply meaningful workout. The most important thing you accomplished is something profoundly powerful and scientifically validated. You successfully interrupted that toxic biochemical stress cycle. Remember what we discussed. When anxiety surges, your body, in its survival instinct, releases cortisol. But when you brought your conscious attention to that slow 4 in, 6 out breath pattern, you activated the parasympathetic nervous system. Contemporary clinical studies have shown this clearly. Just 15 minutes of focused breath work per day can significantly lower your baseline cortisol levels, the stress hormone that is constantly circulating and causing harm. One of my practitioners, a 68-year-old retired teacher in California, once shared with me, eyes shining, "Master, I spent my whole life worrying about my students' grades, but now I realize that worry was hurting my own heart. When I started to breathe, I didn't just find peace. I felt like I was healing myself from the inside out." That is the essence of this practice. You are not just calming your mind, you are actively fortifying your health. You are reducing systemic inflammation, you are protecting your brain from stress-induced fog, and most importantly, you are creating a safe buffer, a sanctuary between the external turbulence and your inner calm. You are giving yourself the gift of self-mastery, the most valuable possession at this stage of life, when external events often feel uncontrollable. You are declaring to the universe, I am the master of my response, not the victim of my circumstances. The final word and the call to action, the invitation to let go, my dear friends. Life at this age is a profound invitation to live lighter, to live deeper. We have carried enough. Please put down the burdens that do not belong to you. Do not let the past or the anxiety about the future steal the exquisite peace of this now moment. In the Buddhist tradition, letting go is not indifference. It is the highest act of self-love. It is the realization that no matter what you have done, no matter what has happened to you, you deserve to rest. Anapanasati, or breath meditation, is the deepest act of self-care. It is how you safeguard your later years. Hold on to this simple yet powerful philosophy. You are not too old to find peace, and you are certainly not too busy to dedicate 15 minutes to yourself. This is not a luxury or a hobby. This is a biological necessity for your long-term health and happiness. Consistency, even just a few minutes of focused breathing daily, will shift your cortisol structure over time, little by little. I want you to make one commitment. Please integrate these 15 minutes, this practice of Anapanasati, into your daily routine. And now I have two invitations for you, my final calls to action. First, if you feel lighter, if you recognize the benefit of blending ancient wisdom with modern science, please show your appreciation by hitting the like button and sharing this video. Your action will serve as a beacon, guiding so many of our fellow seniors who are desperately seeking this inner peace. Second, I want to hear about your journey. Please leave a comment below and let me know. What part of your body felt most released or unburdened after this meditation? Was it your forehead, your shoulders, or your chest? By naming the sensation, we begin the process of acceptance and letting it go. Your sharing is also an inspiration to our community. We will continue this journey together, week after week. Please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss our next deep dive guided meditations. Always remember, you were not born to worry, you were born for peace. Breathe deeply, release what no longer serves your path, and enjoy the gentle light of the present. I wish you a day of serenity and freedom.